Alright, Shalom Israel. Back with another GMS on the go. This is the Raleigh, North Carolina camp. Before we go any further, we'd like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son,
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakar Kodash.
Next up, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone from teaching us this truth according to the Bible, and a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and righteousness and sincerity to the best of your ability. And me and the brother Isaiah was able to link up today. We're just going to get into a lesson on the prophets are warning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that war is coming. World War III. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into it, and we're going to grab our first precept.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Right. It said the second woe has passed. That word woe means death and destruction. So the second death and destruction has passed. That was World War II. Read that from the top again one more time, Baba Kashaw.
This is Isaiah 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Right, and the third woe, once again, woe means death and destruction. The third death and destruction is coming quickly, and that's World War III. You see, and you can clearly see World War III starting to brew up. It's on a small scale right now, but it's amping up. You turn on your TV, go on YouTube, you can see things slowly happening over in the Middle East. Wars on the horizon.
You see these you see all these nations coming against America. You see the Lord preparing, telling the mighty men of these heathen nations to wake up and prepare for war. And that's what we're telling our people, that this world war to come is gonna be it's coming quickly. The destruction of America is on the rise.
Okay. Let me get Isaiah 9:5.
And we're telling our people that this world war is gonna be a nuclear war.
Okay.
This is gonna be Isaiah chapter 9 verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise,
right,
and garments rolled in blood.
Right. It said for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. And that's your ancient wars you had, your ancient battles. You would have back in the ancient war, you would have one army fighting against another army, and and it would be with confused noise, because you have one army running to another army with swords, and the swords would be clinging at each other, and and it'd be like a lot of yelling and hollering going on, commotion. That's your confused noise right there. Read it from the top one more time, Baba Kashaw.
Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood.
Right, and the garments rolled in blood, because after all that loud noise that happened, people killing each other, their garments would be rolled in blood. They'd be laying on the ground dead, and they'd be all bloody.
Or you might kill somebody and his blood might splatter all over you.
Okay.
But this World War III, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Right, so this World War III, that third war that's coming quickly, this is going to be with burning fuels of fire. That's what this war is going to consist of, which is the ICBM missiles. That's the third war that's coming quickly.
That's the weapons of the Lord's indignation, That's the instrument that the Lord used to destroy this place called America, And the Lord has us set up out there on the highways and byways, warning our people, telling them that war is coming,
Okay.
Alright, precept. This is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old.
Right, so Jeremiah is saying the prophets that was before him and of us of old. And who were some of the prophets that was before Jeremiah and us? You got, Ezekiel, Amos, Noah, Joseph, Noah, and so forth on. These are all the prophets that was before Jeremiah and us of old.
This is back in Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, both Sakia. Let me read it from top one more time. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied.
And prophesy means to tell you before something happens.
Both against many countries and great kingdoms.
Right. So the prophets that was before Jeremiah and us prophesied against both many countries and great kingdoms. You see, so when the prophets of old prophesied against many countries and great kingdoms, they were basically saying what was going to happen before it happens. And that's what we're doing today. We're prophesying the downfall and destruction of America. We're saying what's going to happen before it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to read on and see what the prophets of old prophesied about.
Yeah, because the Lord is sending us on the scene now, because just like he did when it was in the time of Egypt, and he sent the prophet Moses, you know, to preach the downfall and destruction of Egypt, the Lord is having us do the same thing, because their wickedness has increased, you know.
Okay.
This is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, both prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms of war.
Right, so the same way the prophets of old prophesied against war way back when, the same thing we're doing now. We're prophesying the war. Telling you about World War III that's coming.
That's how you know who the true prophets are of the Heavenly Father, you know. That's how you know if the Lord truly sent them, if they're going to be prophesying of war, you know.
We're telling you about something that's going to happen before it happens.
Of war and of evil.
Right, we're telling you about this like the same way the prophets of old prophesied against evil. We're doing the same thing. We're telling you about the evil. You know, bad times that's coming into America. Martial law, race riots. You know, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. You know, a famine of food and thirst, and so forth on.
And of pestilence.
And enough diseases. So the same way the prophets of old prophesied against diseases, about diseases, we're doing the same thing. We're telling you about the H1N1. You know, the bird flu, the swine flu, the flu shot. I mean, it's like the flu.
One way, yeah, because the flu did kill a lot of people. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was this year or late last year. But it was killing a mass number of people, and they were really trying to sweep it under the rug about the amount of people that are actually dying from the flu, which is crazy. But another way a lot of people are going to be dying is when time of Jacob's trouble, and all these dead bodies are laying there on the ground. You know, it's just going to be enough. You know, a lot of people are going to be trying to eat dead bodies and things like that, and they're going to catch this. They're gonna catch some crazy disease and just die slow, a painful death. Then they might get eaten. You know, it's just bad times coming to America. You know, and the Lord has us out here telling you the things that's gonna happen before they happen. You know, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 9, and it reads, behold, the former things are come to pass.
And that's, you know, World War One, World War II. You know, the flood, the Southern Kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi coming to America on cargo slave ships, and the whole nation of Israel as a whole. You know, discontinuing from their heritage. You know, these are former prophecies that have already come to pass.
Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare.
Right, and the new things are the prophecies. New prophecies do Yahweh Shemashah declare to come to pass. And what's the new prophecy? World War III, which we're going into, the third woe. You know, a famine of food and thirst. A famine of hearing these words. Your race riots, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. You know, all these are new prophecies that Yahweh Shemashah declaring to come to pass.
And it reads, before they spring forth, I tell you of them.
Right, before these prophecies, before they spring forth, before they come to pass, before they actually happen, Yahweh Shemashah, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus, who's a so-called black man, he tells you of them. And how does he tell you of them? By his prophets, like we just read in Jeremiah 28:8.
Yep, the prophets the Lord set up are going to be the true prophets of Yahweh Shemashah is going to be warning of the death and destruction that's coming, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the Lord has us going to the World War III is coming to America. And that's one of the major prophecies that are left to happen. You know, troops on the ground, ICBM missiles getting shot off, which is going to be the climax of World War III, you know, because right now, like, the head of our camp always likes to say, you know, fights always starts with words, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, technically, we are in the World War III right now, just it hasn't been declared publicly, but the brothers know that every fight starts with words, and these two proud-ass heathen nation, this proud devil here in America is not going to back down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to cause him to go to World War III and be utterly destroyed, you know? Which is all the Lord's plan. That's why the Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai is telling you people to get right with the Lord before death and destruction comes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Before the Lord comes back and destroys this place.
Ezekiel 3:17.
Okay. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17, and it reads, look at it. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17, and it reads, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
Right, so Yahweh Shemashah, he has made us watchmen. You know, and what is a watchman? What is a watchman's job? If you look at these ancient war movies, a watchman would stand on a tower, and, you know, he will watch out for unfamiliar faces or approaching enemies. And as soon as that watchman seen those unfamiliar faces or those approaching enemies coming, he would blow the trumpet and sound an alarm to let his people know that the approaching enemies are coming, that those unfamiliar faces are coming. They get ready for battle, you know, to get ready for war.
Mm-hmm.
You see, if a watchman's job is to watch, he shouldn't be playing around and goofing off, because then he's gonna miss what he's supposed to be watching for. You see, so that's what we do in this truth. We watch for things, you know. We watch out for the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. You know, we watch out for the race riots on World War III. We watch out for everything that's spoken up in this Bible to let our people know what's coming. So we're the watchmen of Israel. And Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the real biblical Hebrew Israelites.
Mm-hmm. Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me.
Right, the scripture said, therefore hear the words at my mouth and give them warning from me. And how are you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans supposed to hear the words that Yahweh Shemashah's mouth to get the warning? You're going to hear it through his servant, the prophets. Because once again, just like read in Jeremiah 28:8, Yahweh Shemashah sent forth his prophets to warn you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, to prophesy to y'all, to tell you the things that's going to happen before it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get the warning through the prophets, through Yahweh Shemashah's men that he set up.
Yeah, and the warning today is World War III is coming. That, you know, you want to escape that, and the only way you can be able to escape that is through Yahweh Shema Shai protecting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It says the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous run into it and are safe, you know? You may keep going on, that's it.
You can finish it off 18.
Con, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die,
2/3 of the nation of Israel,
and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
Right, so if we don't come out on the highways and byways and warn 2/3 of the nation of Israel on what they're doing wrong, on how they're transgressing the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible, you know, on how they're indulging in their wickedness, if we don't come out on the highways and byways to warn them, when they die in their iniquity, their wickedness, their blood is going to be required out of their hands, because we shouldn't have been out there to tell them what to do and what not to do according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Verse 20, again, verse 19, Yet if thou warn the wicked,
if we warn 2/3 of the nation of Israel,
and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall surely die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul.
Right, so if we warn 2/3 of the nation of Israel, and 2/3 don't turn from their iniquity or their wicked way, they're gonna die in their own. They're gonna die in their own wickedness. But we delivered our soul because we told them what it was. If they choose not to hearken unto the men of the Lord, the Yahweh Shemashah has set up, starting with the apostles and elders of great millstone to the men on down, and they're gonna die in their own wickedness.
They're gonna die in this upcoming World War III, in
Mm-hmm.
the upcoming bad evil times that are coming, the bad times, and the pestilence, all these different diseases. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be taken in that destruction.
Mm-hmm. But we're gonna deliver our souls. Lord's will be some of those men. You see, so we're commanded to prophesy to you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans, and tell you what's gonna happen before it happens. It's supposed to be giving you a warning. You see, because World War III, like we read in Revelations 11:14, is coming quickly. That third woe.
And what the Lord say, he's coming quickly as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the Lord said, "Behold, I come quickly." So the Lord's coming simultaneously at the climax of that World War III, when those nuclear missiles will be shot out to save the elect, you know, and the sincere brothers know that we all want to be a part of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So with that, I hope you've been edified. It's been another GMS on the go. This is the Raleigh, North Carolina camp. Before we go any further, we like to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kodash. Next up, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, teaching us this truth according to the Bible, and a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and righteousness and sincerity to the best of your abilities. Shalom.
Shalom.